Welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Jake Gordon and Alex Lord. We received some pretty grim news this afternoon, and I kind of expected it. When anytime you hear elbow injury with a pitcher, I'm always thinking the worst. And it was the worst for Ian Anderson. He's really struggled this season. In spring training, he was optioned early. His first outing in Gwinnett, he gave up like 6 runs in the first inning, 3 homers, velocity down. Just nothing was going right. He just didn't look like the same guy. And as bad as it is, he is going to have to undergo Tommy John surgery, Jeff Passan reported. And as bad as that sounds, though, I almost feel like it gives him kind of like an out. Like, there's a reason for why I've been struggling. There's a reason why it's this bad. I'm not this bad of a pitcher. And listen, I don't think we'll ever see him play for the Braves again. He's going to miss this season and probably next season. So I don't know what the arbitration years are going to look like, but I just can't imagine like they're going to keep paying him while he recovers from Tommy John, like they have with Mike Soroka. I just don't think he's that kind of pitcher. So I think it's highly doubtful he pitches for the Braves again, but I do wish him the best in the future. And I think this will end up being good for his career if it ever was going to get back off the ground.
Yeah, well, you took the words out of my mouth. The fact of the matter is it just wasn't working. And this kind of can give him some time to maybe even do some technical refinement. He doesn't have to play clearly and just give him some time to ramp back up and take all the pressure off. Nobody's going to be thinking about you every day down there in Gwinnett saying, oh, he had a bad game in Gwinnett. He had to just take this time to reset because we know he could be a great pitcher. And I would push back and say I think he could play for the Braves again. We'll see.
It's not 100% no chance.
Yeah, but it is looking grim. I don't know. It depends on. I guess it really just depends on how some of these other guys perform. We talked about Schuster and Dodd. Bryce Elder's look fantastic. Mike Soroka's looking really good, who we'll get to in a second. But I hate it for Ian Anderson, man. He's still going to be a club legend. He'll always be one of those guys I'll think about and be like, man, he was a rocket.
No hit the Astros, man. Like,
listen,
for 5 innings.
Yeah, as sad as it is right now, and it is sad because Chase's point is valid, though I don't want to believe it, that he might not pitch for the Braves ever again. We can always hang our hats on that 2020 World Series run, his 1.26 playoff ERA. I mean, he'll be a legend forever, regardless if he ever pitches again. But it is sad to see somebody like him, suffer so bad. And now, yeah, but it is kind of a crutch. I guess I get that. But these guys, I think, don't look at it like that. They're just they're alphas. Like, they don't want an excuse. They just
but I don't think they're like there was no, like, I think Ian Anderson, and maybe it's not true, but his confidence was shot. Like, I don't think there's any doubt about that. And I think he was dealing with shoulder problems last year. Now he's dealing with a torn UCL. I think if there was nothing wrong with him and he was pitching like this, I don't know how he would ever recover, because it was just like, why is my velocity down? Why are my arms hurting? Why can I not do what I was able to do 3 years ago when I looked like one of the most promising young pitchers in the bigs? So, listen, I wish him the best. He's always going to be a legend. I don't care if he pitches for the Braves or even the Phillies. I'm going to be rooting for the guy. It might be a little harder with the Phillies, but there's just some guys that will always have a soft spot in my heart, and he's one of those guys. I mean, he's a great kid. He's still young. I mean, I think he's only, 24, 25 years old. So, listen, he's got time to rebound from this, and I think Tommy John will help clear his head. Let's get to Mike.
Doesn't it make these things so much easier whenever you have a championship under your belt? It makes it so much easier. It really makes this a lot less heartbreaking, and I still do feel for the kid himself, but it definitely makes it an easier pill to swallow.
Well, let's talk about two pitchers, actually, that look like they're going to have some bright future for the Braves, especially this season and hopefully moving forward. Bryce Elder last night tossed 6.1 innings of shutout ball against the Reds after 6 innings of shutout balls against the Cardinals in his first start. Now, this was a guy who finished last year on fire. And I was shocked that they optioned him in favor of Dodd and Schuster. I thought that was a little questionable, and I think now we know that was a little questionable. This guy looks like he is a major league pitcher. He has been a strike thrower his entire career. And listen, his stuff isn't blowing anyone away. It's kind of like Jared Schuster's, but he's got a better pitch mix, and he looks like he can be a major league contributor. Now, I don't expect him to be a top guy. Doesn't need to be a top guy. And I feel like he's figured out his role. He knows how to pitch. He's not afraid of contact. He's figured it out. He is major league ready, and I know Soroka could come back soon. I don't know how you get Elder back off this roster. He just looks like he's ready.
The answer is you don't, unless, something drastic happens. We talked about this with Schuster in the last episode, though. Somebody that trusts their defense and somebody that says, hey, I have a good infield defense behind me. I have a good offense. Fill up the strike zone, and, good things can happen. He's very efficient as well. He's gotten up to 100 pitches. We saw him throw a 9-inning shutout against the Nationals last year after a great start against the Marlins. And those aren't very good teams, but Cardinals are a good team.
Yeah, the Reds are better than that. The Reds are better. The Reds are better than the Marlins and Nationals. He finished last season with a 1.65 ERA over his last 5 starts. His entire major league career, he has like a 2.5 ERA. I was going to say that
it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't just that. Sample size, which was super encouraging. The dude's been rock solid the whole year or his whole career. He had one rough spring training outing and then he bounced back. And then this is no, diss to Schuster or Dodd. I think both of them will have great careers, but he should have never been optioned. Like in the first place, I have no idea what that. Maybe they just wanted to see what they had, and Dodd and Schuster, and the plan was always to bring Elder back up. I don't know, but from the looks of it, I said it last night. I was like, this guy should have never, been optioned down. He's the 5th starter going forward. He's rock solid. Even if he has a couple of rough outings, he's got to stay up here.
Yeah, he is what we thought Bryce Wilson would be.
Yeah, and dude, Elder, and like even going further back, Elder has been a dominant pitcher at every level of the minors too. He's been a sub-3 ERA guy at every level of the minors. This is who he is. So I don't think it's ridiculous to say. I know he's not going to strike out a ton of batters, but he has early in the season. But I don't think it's ridiculous to say expect around a 3 ERA for him as a major league pitcher moving forward. Maybe that's a little optimistic, but hey, I'm high on Elder right now. And the other guy I'm high on is Mike Soroka. I have been tempering my expectations for 2 or 3 years. I don't expect him to do much. I've watched him pitch since he's come back this year. And dude, the guy's stuff is still there. The advanced analytics back it up. He's getting more swings and misses. His sinker is up there around 95. His slider is faster than it was pre-injury. This guy is a guy who knows how to pitch, and now his stuff looks even better. Like, there is no reason he will not contribute to this team this season if he stays healthy. No reason.
Yeah, I'm
surprised that
velocity for Soroka to get back.
Yeah, it's not surprised that his velocity is up. I mean, when he got injured, he was like a kid. I mean, you don't really hit your physical peak until 25, 26, 27, 28. So, yeah, I mean, and Anthopoulos talked about him, about how much of a bulldog he is and how, he's a menace. He wants to be great. He won't let anything stand in his way. I think it's okay to start expecting him to return, not to, the Cy Young where he was, though I don't think it's out of the question. But I think it's fair to start expecting him to be a major league contributor this year, like soon.
Yeah, and I'm not going to put that pressure on him too, just because there's a large portion of his fan base that's going to do that already. But I am excited just to see him back out there. It's going to be a great comeback story. I mean, the kid's been through hell and back. But
I hope it's at home.
Yeah, they got to do it. They got to do it at home, bro. Like, right? Like, that has to be set up at home.
They would blow the roof off that place. And I think that's just.
I will be there. That'll be a game I will not miss. There's no.
That's going to be that's just like good mojo when you think about it too. You talk about energizing the team, energizing the clubhouse. Yeah. Maybe it's even a tougher opponent. Maybe you don't throw him a tomato can like one of the bottom feeders of the league. Maybe you'd send him out there against a really good lineup, but that's a tactic you can use to go win one of those games against a upper echelon team.
I mean, this is a guy who knows how to pitch. He's 6'5", 240 pounds. His velocity's up. The stuff looks fantastic. He's 25 years old. We've seen what he can do pre-injury. I mean, I know I'm not going to try to put pressure on him, but I'm starting to expect things. And I have lowered my expectations for a long time, but I'm starting to expect things. And I think he could, I don't want to say too much, but I think he could be really, really good again. If he can stay healthy, man, it's all about staying healthy. Once he builds that confidence back to where it was pre-injury, the sky's the limit for this kid. And we saw it when he was 20 years old, and he's only 25 now. It didn't go away.
Yeah, and to loop back to what we were talking about earlier, I think the only way we are going to see him is if Max Fried does spend some extended time on the injured list, which hopefully does not happen, as much as I do want to see Soroka. Because the way Bryce Elder's pitching, there's no way you can take him out of the rotation right now. There's just absolutely no way. So unless another injury happens, we may have to wait a little bit on Soroka. But I'm fine with him sticking in AAA and just kind of building up some more confidence, putting together some more good starts, and getting ready to come back.